Today we have Charlie Janes with us. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
So good to have you on. I was interested with kind of, starting at the beginning and what were you doing before becoming a focal point coach?
I had a 30-year career in tech, growing tech companies and leading sales teams.
Okay, interesting. I don't think I knew that. Do you have like a specific moment or something that kind of helped you decide to join Focal Point? Why did you join Focal Point?
So funny you should ask. Yeah, my wife and I were sitting on our front porch one day, and she just looked at me and she said, "You're really miserable." Tech had gone from being like really exciting and a great career to a little bit of a grind. And she just looked at me and said, "I want you to be happy, so try something else."
That's hilarious. I love your candor. And what led you to Focal Point then? Because, that was kind of the thing that started it, I guess. But how did you find Focal Point?
Well, I owe everything to a great franchise coach.
Okay.
I had had lots of calls through the years and never taken the call, but a woman named Lucy called me up and she asked the right questions and she got me visualizing what life could be like as my own boss and what it means to, scale your own business. She introduced me to Focal Point and that process was awesome. I got to talk to other coaches and learn about coaching and learn about all the support you got. So it made it feel safe, fun, and exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a really interesting experience. That's one of the things that I think is so great is the culture and it brings a lot of people into it. And I know for you that culture is definitely a big component. Is there any part that you'd want to speak to on that?
I love the sense of teamwork. So when we
Mhm.
join Focal Point, we get a coach ourselves, but some of the best learnings are from other coaches. Just today, I reached out to a fellow coach that I was certified with 6 years ago, and I needed to do an exercise on trust, and I didn't have anything. And Mike just gave me some great materials and walked me through how to deliver it. So that's the brilliant part about being a Focal Point coach is you're not alone, and you can always up your game through the strength of another coach.
Yeah, that's really wonderful. I mean, it's so great to see as well. From outside in, it's my favorite part is hearing that and hearing the community that's created. Jumping back a little bit now, I wanted to ask you, how did you feel about making the leap into business ownership? Were there any feelings of nervousness or apprehension? And, what were the risks that kind of felt biggest to you at the beginning?
Yeah. Well, it felt really scary. So, in 30 years working for tech companies, I worked for some great leaders, which
Mhm.
kind of felt safe. But the industry's evolved a lot. And you see it every day when you read the paper, the layoffs and things, and tech became a grind. So, actually, I was delighted that once I became a coach and I got into it, how much less risky it feels.
That's really interesting. Do you want to elaborate on that? What makes it feel less risky?
Well, I think the biggest concern I always had is how do you replace an income when you're an employee? And business ownership has the risk of a learning curve where your expenses are probably going to be bigger than what you're making. So
Mhm.
that's what kept me from taking the leap for a long period of time. But it turns out with what I was doing in tech sales leadership roles was it was a perfect fit for coaching. I was always working with businesses to make them more competitive. So I was able to ramp up my coaching business relatively quickly. And now when I look at the tech world or the work world in general with how many layoffs there are, it feels so much less risky to be my own boss.
Right. I haven't really thought about it like that because there's all the anxiety around taking that leap, being your own boss. And I think there's so much conversation about the negative side of it and that very beginning. But listening to you put it that way, I think you put it very eloquently.
Very much.
So, the same question, but a little bit different. How did you manage that uncertainty at the beginning, and what helped you to really push through those early doubts that you might have had?
Well, there's really two things. So first off, Focal Point gives you a coach when you join. So my coach helped me put together a plan so I could, figure out what I had to do and kind of plan my own budgeting. The other thing is I had wonderful support from my wife that, as I said, she just wanted me to be happy.
Yeah.
So that made it really doable, and it's been a wonderful journey.
Oh, that's so wonderful to hear. You speak about everything so beautifully almost. It makes me want to quit Focal Point and work at Focal Point.
There you go.
Do you have like a message that you would give to someone who might be afraid at the very beginning there?
It's funny. First off, I'd say welcome to the club. Everybody who's an entrepreneur is afraid, but they don't let fear define them. Focal Point's Brian Tracy used to say that stress is just an unmade decision. And the best way to deal with fear is to think about the worst thing that can go wrong and then resolve yourself of what that you'd be okay if the worst case happened. And then once you do that, you create a plan about what things you're going to do to reduce the risk. So the thing about fear is that you're no better off living with status quo in this scary world with a current environment. And at the end of the day, fortune favors the brave.
Love how you described that. That was really great.
Hmm.
I One question I want to ask you is, do you have any particular success story, client relationship, anything that kind of stands out to you from your time here at Focal Point that, motivates you or makes you excited to wake up the next day?
Gosh, there's so many of them. That's the brilliant thing about coaching is that you get to work with people who in many ways are smarter and even more ambitious than you, but they've hit a stall point. And we as trusted guys just help them through what we can see as fairly predictable stall points, and we look brilliant helping them through it. And I'll give you a story. I started with a woman entrepreneur about 4 years ago who wanted to build her design business into a franchise. And she had about 250,000 in revenue, but she just needed help with basic planning and communication and delegation. She built that business into a $4 million business with about 12 employees. And then to boot, she spun up 3 other related businesses now, all based on going through the Focal Point program, which she loves.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. I love how personal you are when you talk about coaching. I think that resonates a lot to especially the people that might be starting out right now. And it's good to see a friendly face and hear just the true candor of what coaching can mean to someone. So thank you so much for, really putting that personal element into everything. I really love it.
Uh, my pleasure. I really appreciate you inviting me into this interview, Gabriel.
Of course. Do you mind if I ask you one final question here?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Is there any advice that you have to a new or prospective coach, or just kind of any general words of advice that you would like to give before we wrap up?
Yeah, absolutely. Focal Point has a wonderful certification program taught by other coaches like us. Following the formula gives you a fairly high probability of success as long as you put the work into it. So just follow the guidelines that a lot of successful coaches before you have gone through.
Thank you. Yeah, that's great. I love it. Well, I really appreciate you coming on here today and speaking with me and sharing a little bit. It's always great to hear backstories too and get a little bit more context as to the people that I've already met. I love hearing a little bit more. And so thank you. Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you. Great seeing you again.
It was great to see you.